Greetings, comic friends. Let's do some TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. It is new comic book day. We have a nice week. I have a total of 10 books, which is on the upper limit of what my target is, but it is still within the target, so we're okay. And it's a really strong week. So the first thing, is probably, I wouldn't say it's the weakest. The first thing is probably the thing that I shouldn't have, but that's Dark Ages 4. This has been fun, but this is exactly the kind of thing that I need to stop getting. But the premise was fun, and I read that first issue, and I really liked it. It's something a little bit different than hasn't been really done before, so I got it, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not breaking the bank or anything, though. I guess breaking the bank isn't my biggest concern. My biggest concern is actually breaking my floor with the sheer volume of books that I've accumulated over my life. Anyway, next we have Fantastic Four number 39. It looks like we're starting a new arc here, and I think there's a Fantastic Four event that's coming out. Something. I forget. So I'm not sure if this is leading up to it. But Six Faces of Franklin Richards. So, not sure what it's about. I believe so. It looks like maybe different universe. Alternate reality versions of him, or just through time, looking at the cover. Not sure. To read to find out. I think Johnny's still on fire, though. Poor guy. Spider-Woman 18. This is a Devil's Reign crossover. I'm not a huge fan of solo book crossing over into other events. I like my event books to be pretty self-contained and let the arcs of the individual books kind of continue doing their own thing, because sometimes it can be kind of disruptive, right? Like, I don't remember exactly what, but Spider-Woman, you know what, actually I don't think she was, but in some cases the character, like, they might be in the middle of something, doing their own thing already, their own arc, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, Devil's Reign is happening, so stop whatever you were doing and pay attention to this. I don't really like that, but it'll be fine. I really like the Spider-Woman book. Devil's Reign has been good, so hopefully the tie-in is also entertaining. But I'd rather see more progression on the individual title itself than tie-ins to events. But they want to make that tie-in money, though, right? I get it. Odins Eye number 5. I believe this is the last issue. It's been really interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes. There hasn't been, this journey for like finding Odin's Eye. So far, I feel like the journey hasn't really started in real earnest. She hasn't really had a chance to like start on her own path. Like, she got kidnapped, and then she was finally freed, and now she's freed. I guess she's going up the mountain, and that's her on her path. But it doesn't seem like she's been on the typical hero's journey path, right? She's been pushed around. A lot of what she's been doing hasn't been of her own devices. And I guess especially since when she's the strongest, when she goes into berserker mode, she's completely not in control of herself. But it's not a complaint. It's just kind of a different type of story. But I've been enjoying it. The art is beautiful. The characters are great. The dialogue's great. So I have been enjoying it. It just, if this is the last issue, it doesn't feel like they're there yet. I know I've had critiques of recent limited series that they go on for too long. If this is the end, I think this one's too short. And I'm not saying because like I love it so much that I just want more of it. I don't think it's time for. It doesn't feel like the previous 4 issues have gotten them to the point where they can end in a reasonable way. But maybe I'm wrong. I haven't read it yet, so reserve final judgment for that. Department of Truth number 15. What is this? Mothman. Or moth creature. I'm not up on cryptozoology or conspiracy theories except for the big ones that like the flat Earth and stuff that really stands out. But all the little ones I don't know a whole lot about, which is kind of why I think I really like Department of Truth, because I'm getting a little bit of exposure to these. I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's for crazy people. Though I mean, I shouldn't say that. People that really, really, really believe it. I think the interest in like things like Mothman and Sasquatch, that's interesting. Like, 'cause that's like, I don't know, it's being interested in monsters, and monsters are cool. I wouldn't say you're weird for liking Frankenstein movies because he's not real. But it does give me some exposure to some of that conspiracy theory stuff and cryptozoology that I'm not super familiar with. But Department of Truth been great. This is also a book I've really enjoyed. So Maniac of New York. This is its second series. The Bronx is Burning, number 2. It continues the first series very well. I think this could have just been one series, and would just be the next arc, because it is the same characters, just kind of continuing. It's just the Maniac was not killed. He's back out there and doing stuff, but it's like the same like detectives and stuff like that are kind of the main characters with this. So if you read the first one, it really is just, I think it was 6 issues. So number 1 was really just kind of issue 7 and continues on. It flows pretty well, but really, really good. Really like the art, really like the story. It's good stuff. The Joker number 11. So I finally did what I said I would, and found out how much longer this is going to go. I talked to someone at my comic shop, and they told me that the last issue is 13. So this is number 11. Stick it out, right? Stick it out at this point. And it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. I guess it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It's for a book that's called The Joker. It's not very Joker centric. It feels more like a Jim Gordon book, where this story features the Joker, just like you could read a Batman story that features the Joker, if that makes sense. It's not that it's bad. It's just I wanted when I got the book of the Joker, I wanted it to be more sort of central about the Joker, and Joker have more panel time than what he does. What he does. All right. Darkhawk 5. I really like this new Darkhawk. They're starting to dip into the original Darkhawk lore, where it's like, this is when I turn into the Darkhawk, this isn't a suit. My mind is my mind is now in a different body, and that was, for better or worse. I think that's dumb, but that's the problem of the original Darkhawk mythos, right? But it is what it is. I respect that is what it is. So when they come back and redo Darkhawk, it's good that it's the same. They aren't trying to rewrite it or retcon it. The lore is what the lore is. Deal with it. So I do think, even though I don't like that as being part of Darkhawk, it is good that they are accepting that, and they are introducing that. But the character itself, shoot, I don't remember his name. I'm just thinking Chris, but Chris is the original Darkhawk. His name. I really like the character. I think he's a really interesting character with, something they didn't really play with a whole lot with the original Darkhawk and the body swapping thing was that like, he'd be like, oh, I'm a little taller, right? But in this case, it's killing me. I don't remember what his name is. Like his body is starting to fail him. So when he switches into the Darkhawk body, he's now in a body that is no longer he's got cerebral palsy, I think, oncoming cerebral palsy, or something like that. But his body's starting to fail him. So it's actually really important. So this ability, him getting this power, is a huge benefit. Other than just I'm a superhero, he's getting to at least for a while he's Darkhawk, live in a body that isn't falling apart. And I think that's a really interesting aspect to this version of Darkhawk. So I hope that this limited series is successful and this character sticks around, even to get an ongoing. I would pick it up. I really like this iteration of Darkhawk. Amazing Spider-Man number 85. So and this is Legacy 886. So from what I understand, we're dealing with Beyond up until it gets to Legacy 900, and then it's going to be a huge shift. This is, let's see, Ziegler. I think Ziegler did the last issue. He did the last issue or the issue before last. I don't remember. I think it was the last one. And it's fine. It's better than what, the last major arc was, that what Spencer's last, well, I mean, most of his run, but that last arc, I really did not like that, as you all know. But this has been acceptable Spider-Man. I'm already getting tired of the Beyond stuff a little bit. I like that Peter is now conscious. It helps, and trying fairly unsuccessfully to get back out there. His body is not quite ready yet, but he is not super willing to accept that. And I was real excited about Ben Reilly, and Ben Reilly taking center stage as Spider-Man for a little bit. I thought that was a great idea, and I was really excited about it. The problem is I don't like the Beyond stuff, and whenever we're dealing with Ben Reilly Spider-Man, we're dealing with the Beyond stuff. So I like Ben Reilly. I don't like Beyond. I don't like the corporation stuff. I was wary of it to begin with, and it's not just the like, well, duh, corporation is going to be evil. That aside, I don't know. I don't find it interesting. I think it would have been more interesting for Ben Reilly and Peter Parker to get together and realize that Peter is out, but we still need a Spider-Man. So he just picks up the mantle, right? He doesn't need, because he is Peter Parker, right? He's a clone. He's a clone, and his memories of what was instilled in him as good values, they share that. So it would make sense for him just to pick up the mantle while Peter was incapacitated. He didn't need this reason of he was hired by Beyond to be their superhero, right? And from what it sounds like, Beyond didn't necessarily need a Spider-Man. They just needed a hero. They just happened to hire Ben Reilly, who had the powers of Spider-Man, so Beyond's hero is Spider-Man. They could have gone with anybody else. So it seems forced. It's like Peter Parker happens to be knocked out, and then Beyond happens to choose Ben Reilly to act as Spider-Man while the actual Spider-Man is incapacitated. Those happen at the same time. I don't like it. I don't like it. If for whatever reason Beyond was like, yes, we need a Spider-Man because Spider-Man is out, which I think kind of is the impression I got originally, then fine. But from either the last issue or the issue before, I don't remember which because I read them back to back, something was said by the director of Beyond that made me think that, where she was like, we could have gone with somebody else. We could have gone with a different hero. So that makes me not like the Beyond premise even more. Anyway, it's probably most I've said about the current Spider-Man than I have, but it's taken a while to understand kind of what's going on. And then the last thing I got is Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, #1. Yes, trying to cut back on limited series. Cutback doesn't mean completely abandoning. This Zdarsky's Daredevil run and what he's doing in it and what's going on right now is so good. I cannot resist the chance to get more of it. It is just that good. I like Elektra in this Daredevil role. I've said many times before, I have never ever cared about Elektra. I have actively avoided Elektra for the longest time because I did not like her as a character. I don't know. Whenever she showed, maybe I read bad Elektra stories, but she just did not seem interesting to me at all. And I'll admit I didn't read like older Daredevil when Elektra first showed up and sort of kind of get that the beginnings of her and what her roots are with Matt. It's more been when she just kind of shows up. I fully admit that, but because of that, I don't feel I'd ever read a good Elektra story, so I avoided them, or at least didn't care about them. I couldn't avoid it because she became the center of the Daredevil book, and I kept with it, and it was awesome. It's really well done. So I want more Zdarsky Daredevil. I want more Zdarsky Elektra as Daredevil. So this was a no-brainer. It wasn't even a question of, oh, maybe I should pass on this limited series. This is exactly the type of limited series that I will still pick up 100%. All right, so that is it. Oh, wait. No, I did get something else, but I left it in the other room. So I also picked up a trade of The Beauty Volume 6, which I actually think came out last week, but I missed it. But it is one of the things I read in trade. So pretend that I'm holding that up and showing that to you, but I left it in the other room. But anyway, that is it. Nothing else special. One of the shops that I go to had some new key books that I hadn't seen before that I avoided, mostly because of time. I needed to make moves. I might go back this weekend and take a look at them. Probably not. I probably shouldn't. But anyway, that was it. So yeah, 10 books, 10 fairly solid books, like those solid weeks, even if it is a little bit quote unquote bigger of what is the norm now. I think I will probably read through these very quickly because I am excited about all of them. Really. Yeah. So that's a good place to be in on a Wednesday. So that is it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that normal stuff. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.